I think we have a couple surprises coming up this morning. They're just not quite ready to be presented. Here comes number one.
Aha. Hello.
Hello.
Greetings and salutations. I am the Phantom of the Chapel. I'm the Phantom of the Morning, and I have a message for you right now. Let our masks just be falling away this day, and let's greet one another this morning. Let's just stand, and why don't you turn to your left and to your right, and if you feel comfortable, shake a hand, give a hug, if necessary. That side.
Oh, okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. We're all here. Hey.
Thank you.
Welcome. Glad to have you here this morning. Hey. Good morning, Poppy. You made it in today. Hi. Good. Kathy, you're welcome. Hi. Jerry. Wyatt. Good to see you again. Hello. I don't recognize you with mask. Who have we here?
I'm Julia Prince.
Julia? Casey, welcome to Woodland Chapel. First visit? Oh, okay. All righty. Well, welcome back. Welcome. Welcome, indeed. Oh, that's wonderful. Look at those wings. All right.
Okay.
We're ready.
11:04, time to hit the door. Do not do that. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Isn't this a great morning when you think about it? It's just great just to come, have a place to come and relax and be a part of something that's you've always looked forward to all week long. I know a place where I can go find others who feel like I do, who think like I do, who want to be like I do, and just join together like we do. This is a spiritual home for you. We hope that's what we offer for you. There's some announcements before we do music, and I'll really quickly. I think I found them here. Yeah, here they are right here. I won't go through 10,000 of them, but I'll go through something important. Next Sunday, get those clocks turned around because it's daylight savings time, right? You want to get down here on time. You don't want to be off center here. Did you know we hear that. Did you know there's a craft day this coming Saturday? No. Yes, this Saturday. So that's at. Yes, go right ahead, Kathy. Kathy has the information.
Yeah, we've been saying it for a while, but we didn't have a lot of details. So it's next Saturday from 11 to 3:30. It'll be downstairs. Everybody's welcome to come. We'll have 3 group craft things going on. So people can come. You don't have to have anything, that you're bringing, but you're also welcome to bring your own craft if you want to work on it along with this. It's just a time for everybody to get together and create. The 3 things we're doing, Donna's doing one on.
The macrame and the crystal.
Yes, and I've seen it, it's beautiful. And then we're doing word birds, and to find out what that is, you have to come. We're doing some watercolor grids. So there's something for everybody, and I hope everybody will consider coming. It'll be fun.
Sounds like fun. My goodness gracious, sakes alive. Also, there's a Faces of Gratitude workshop coming up on this next Sunday. Wait a minute. No, it's later on. I just hear this little voice behind me saying, no, no, no. It's the person who told. Say what? Okay. It's coming up. Oh, wait a minute. Serenity during the holidays. Yeah, that's the one next Sunday. That's a workshop that's Cheryl Guess is going to be helping with that, doing that, and really that will be a very good one to kind of check in with. Well, good morning. Good seeing you, and you too, Shannon. Flo, pardon. Hi, Flo. Nice seeing you. I didn't recognize you. Okay. I got the book study group going, still working on Fridays, so that's between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Faces of Gratitude workshop. That's the one I was thinking about. Saturday, November 16th, between 12:30 and 3:30 p.m. That's on a Saturday. And, we talk about this, but gratitude does wear many faces. So be there and explore that. Child care is available. If you have friends that want to be here and they need child care, we've got it. Don't forget this thing that we do here so well, and that is we pray. In the back of the pew in front of you, you'll see some little flyers there, not a flyer, but a little thing you can fill in, a request for prayer. And in the room around the corner here, there is a prayer box that sits right on the corner. You'll see it. If you write one of those out with a prayer request, hang on to it, put it in that little box. It's secure. It's taken out there by a minister or a practitioner, and we take that to heart. We take it in your care, in your case. Why don't we sing our song of the morning? What do you say? Ari's going to lead us. Let's do that. Let's stand and sing.
Let's do it. Got some peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Love. I've got love like the ocean. I've got love like the ocean. I've got love like the ocean in my soul. I've got love like the ocean. I've got love like the ocean. I've got love like the ocean in my soul. Strength. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. Joy. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Very nice. send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. Sing with me, joy. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. Power. I send my power over the mountains. I send my power over the sea. I send my power into the heavens. Oh, and it returns to me. Peace. I send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. Oh, and it returns to me.
First, I want to dispel any notion that I'm an angel. Okay. I'm glad I don't have to fly with these. They're no good. I invite you to join me and just turn within. Turn within and release any busyness or confusion or distractions that may have brought you here today. And go within to that peaceful place that we all have, that peaceful place that knows the truth. Spirit is the one power in the universe. Spirit goes by many names. We may each have our own name for that entity, for that energy, for that amazing power. I know that today is the day, the only day that we are living. The future is just an illusion. The past is just the past. Right here and now, we are together, surrounded by the joy and the love and the laughter that has brought us into this spirit of this season, the fun that comes with this season. So I know that today unfolds with perfection. Ari's music, so gently delivered, inspires us and gives us peace and gives us joy. I know that Reverend Maur has a message that will resonate individually to each of us, and I invite us to take what we need from that message, take it home and own it, bring it into our hearts, bring it into our lives, and take it into our day. There is gratitude in my heart today. Gratitude for the love and the energy in this room, for the presence of each person here today. And with this gratitude, I release this prayer into the law, knowing it is done as spoken, and through grace so much more. And I invite you to join me in saying, "And so it is." And we have the first of many affirmations today. Please join me. Today, I focus my energy on the life-affirming power of love, of kindness, of compassion. And together we empowered by the divine. And so it is.
And just so you know, I am an angel. Good morning. Margaret Anderson says, in real love, you want the other person's good, not just the other person. Ernest Holmes, in his book, 365 Science of Mind, shares, there is no individual good. God belongs to everyone. God fulfills itself as it multiplies itself. Therefore, there is no good that belongs to you and to me alone. No final piece to us as individuals. The watchword is not exclusion, but inclusion. And the more good we release, the more good we experience. Holmes continues, there is one spirit incanted in everyone, an immortal presence forever expanding everything, causing everything to grow. What a difference it would make in our human relations if we tried to sense the meaning of this divine incarnation in all people and adjust our viewpoint to the trust that all are bound together in the unity of God. Today's reading comes from the Science of Mind magazine. It's entitled, All Are Bound Together. Our good is public, not private. It's part of the literal commonwealth. Yes, we hold title to what we own and are the proprietors of our industries, but nothing is ever achieved without the engagement of others. Not to mention the subconscious mind we rely on to manifest anything doesn't even make a hard distinction between ourselves and anyone else. That's how close we are. What we affirm for others is held in account for us as well. Loving one another by means of honoring the divinity of all, in all, is both a sweet moral sentiment and an act of self-support, because what goes around absolutely comes around. Inclusion and genuine welcoming begin in the heart, to emanate from there outward into collective policies and practices toward a world that works for everyone. Our bonus affirmation, I affirm that the abundance and good I seek are woven into the shared tapestry of all, honoring the divinity in each of us, as I embrace a world of unity, inclusion, and love. Thank you.
This is called Only I. The path is long, but I am calm. Only I can hold out hope. The road it winds, I realize. Only I can keep the faith. I listen. Only I can hear inside. When I stop and listen, I always hear I am enough. When it all gets hard and it's lost its charm, only I can bring the joy. In the hardest times, I come to find only I can shine my light. I close my eyes and listen. Only I can hear inside. When I stop and listen, I always hear I am enough. Winding and weaving, ever changing. Winter comes, then turns to spring. Life reawakens with a new song to sing, and cycles go around and round. I close my eyes and listen. Only I can hear inside. When I stop and listen, I always hear I am enough. I am enough. Oh, I am enough. Ooh. Oh, I am enough. Thank you.
Wasn't that lovely? Goodness gracious. Well, you can open your eyes now and listen to a great message by our senior minister while I try to figure out what the frog's doing in my throat. Reverend Maur Horton, thank you for being here.
Oh, it's
Let's
a
give a
pleasure.
big hand to our senior minister, Reverend Maur.
Aren't we all having fun this morning? Oh, yes. Aha, yeah. You thought I wasn't dressed as anything. You didn't think I brought a costume. Well, I'm costumed as a minister this morning. Hey, I've got my black suit on, my white shirt, my colorful tie. I'm ready to have fun because we are a community of fun and faith. This morning we're going to talk about the power that lies within. That beautifully done song brought to mind that this life lives us. It lives us by being in our hearts and by being in our minds and expressing through us. And we're going to talk about how we can use this power, how we can cooperate with this power in order to bring others to an awareness of the divinity, the love, the power, the soul that lies within. That's what we're about this morning. But before I get to the whole message, I'd like to do a few acknowledgments. Nothing happens here by happenstance. It happens by plan. And I'm most grateful to Ari and to Peter and to Phoebe for being present here this morning. You may not realize it, but Ari composed that song on her own. I think she's going to do another composed song. So she not only brings the music, she brings the composition itself to us. Reverend Don, or what was he? He was the Phantom of the Morning or something? Pardon? Freddie? Freddie. I don't know Freddie. Do you know Freddie? Oh. Is that the guy with the axe or something? Yeah. Well, I'm glad he didn't keep that persona on too long and do anything radical to our environment or our personages. And I'm so grateful, too, for a wonderful lady with the wings this morning, Cheryl Ostrander. She did our prayer. It's great. And Catherine Kim for a great reading. It's great. Thank you. And for all those who prepared for hospitality, for those who have worn a costume this morning or a mask, it's all in fun and it's all good. That is a wonderful way to start a Sunday morning. Oh, yes, I do have some prepared remarks, so I should probably refer to them. Oh, goodness. The theme of the morning is the power that we have to change the world, to make this a world that works for everyone. Do you believe that? Yes. You do? That you really feel you have the power within you to change the world? Yes, we do have that. And I thought I'd look around a bit, and I did a little kind of search of the sort to find examples of how that works. It works in our lives, obviously, because we co-create our present experience with our thoughts and beliefs and express them. But I think it also works, I noticed, in our community. Did any of you participate in or were aware of two events that occurred in the last month or so? One of them was the garden parties. There were 7 of us there. Anybody here participate in the garden party? Oh, yes, I see a few hands. And the other one is the World Peace Day. All of these events, in fact, I think the whole effort to bring the revelation of the individual power of our individual power to the world relies on 3 things: intention, attention, and action. That's what drives it all. And we'll look at this in terms of the simple thing of a garden party. We call it a garden party. It's a work party. We cleaned up several places, a meditation garden, and also the garden around the Peace Pole. And then there's the World Peace Day celebration. Maybe you attended, or maybe you didn't. Anybody here attend our World Peace Day celebration? Yes, several. And that also is a matter of intention, attention, and action. On September the 8th board meeting, we all agreed we were going to do one of these things on September 21st. That left us less than 2 weeks to get prepared, but it all came together wonderfully. We invited the Home Center, we invited the Baha'i faith, we invited Buddhists, and they all came. We had like 20 people there. It was a great celebration. It was a lot of fun. 24, Reverend Don said. We had 24 people there. Less than 2 weeks' notice, and that was on a Saturday morning. And then in the afternoon, we participated in the Baha'i celebration, the World Day of Peace, that was recognized by the United Nations. So in addition to our individual bringing our personal awareness of the divinity that lies within people into the world, we join in groups to do that. Because when we set a firm intention that is only for good, that you can set intentions for anything, right? We've seen terrible intentions in the world where there are wars and conflicts and all that. But we're talking about the intentions for good. When we set the intention for good, and that's what's really in our hearts, and that's what we're bringing to the experience, we actually are able to create a purpose, a cause, an understanding that draws people in to our activities and lets these activities become action. So intention with purpose, when we give it real attention to bring people in, it results in great action. Now, I've noticed that not only in our community, but in our nation, we've had some examples of actions that have had reverberations beyond the moment, the moment of the day. You all remember, I'm sure, in the history of our nation, the Declaration of Independence. Do you remember those words? I don't either. So I'm going to read them. There he goes. Oh, my.
It's not 407 years ago.
Not that one. That's Abraham Lincoln. That's at the Civil War time. This is the time before we really had a country. It was Thomas Jefferson's words that he penned in the Declaration of Independence. And these words ring true yet today. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and all people are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Oh, yes. Amen. You know, one of the things I did, too, when I first started thinking about this, was I thought about what ancient wisdom could we look for that would say that we can do all these things, that everything is possible. I looked at ancient wisdom in terms of the Scripture, and the Scripture was Luke 1:37 reads, "For nothing is impossible with God." Romans 8:28 reads, "We know that all things are to work together for good for those who love God and to those who are called according to His purpose." And what is His purpose? I interpret these scriptures to mean this: when our intentions are aligned with the divine purpose. Remember John 10:10, "I have come to give life, and that people may have life and have it abundantly." The universe, when we have that at the core, the goodness of our heart, that draws in the support of the universe. Ernest Holmes puts it this way in his Science of Mind: a steadfast determination to attain some purpose, the letting go of all that opposes it, a complete reliance upon the law of good, and an unqualified trust in spirit. This is the real power. Yeah. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness reminds me of that ancient call that all might have life and all might have it more abundantly. That's in the history of our nation. There's one thing that happened not so very long ago. You probably remember it. Probably most people in here would be able to remember it. It happened on December the 1st, 1955. A lady was sitting in a bus. You know who that is? Rosa Parks, right. She was sitting in a bus, and the racial segregation laws of the state of Alabama at the time said, if the white section of the bus fills up, the black people have to move back. Well, the bus filled up, and the bus driver said, "You, get in the back of the bus." She sat there. That's a simple thing, isn't it? She just sat there. Yet, that simple action created a firestorm of activity. First of all, she didn't rant and rave and scream or anything like that. She just was calm. She was assured. She knew what was right, and that wasn't right to do that. So she sat. And then, before very long, the what do they call it? The bus strike in Montgomery, Alabama, led in part by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, occurred. It lasted a whole year. Finally, the bus company relented, and eventually the Supreme Court decided it was not constitutional to have people be relegated to part of the bus. Wow. And she did so much more. She worked throughout the rest of her life in civil rights, following in the pathway of her husband Raymond, who was in that role early. what you may not know, you probably know quite a bit about the story, but what you might not know is that she was a devout Christian. And that it was her faith that gave her the strength to do what she did that first day in December. In her book, Quiet Strength, Parks writes, "Since I have always been a strong believer in God, and I know that He was with me, and only He could get me through this step." While her expression of her faith in God may be more Southern Methodist than New Thought, Rosa clearly expressed her faith in the divine that allowed her to stand up for her rights. An everyday bus ride eventually became a catalyst for all the support that came to this wonderful intention of respecting her rights and led to the passage of the U.S. Civil Rights Act of 1964. Well, those were the two examples I thought of from the nation. Then I thought of some other examples from the world at large. For the same principle that works in our lives, in our communities, and in the nation, work around the whole world. It's the same principle. You're familiar with many of these that I'm going to mention. There are many well-known spiritual leaders. You know them. Gandhi, nonviolence and forgiveness. What was Mother Teresa's work? Do you remember? Compassion for the poor, right? And the dying. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King stood up for civil rights in the U.S. The Dalai Lama preaches a religion of kindness. And going back to more ancient times, Buddha, serene mind. And Jesus of Nazareth, love of God and neighbor as yourself. And Muhammad, God is one. And that complete submission to God, Allah, is the right way of life. Each of these great spiritual persons had a unique mission and a unique way of expressing themselves. Now, they all, in their own way, access that same power that lives in each person that lives in us. And we call the power spirit, we call it divine energy, we call it higher power, we call it God. Sometimes it's something that's totally built in and innate with us. Oh my. Now, I'd like to change pace a little bit. It's been very serious so far. How about a little joke? Are you ready for a joke? Yeah. Okay. Let's see if you find this as funny as I did. I heard of a lady. She just died, and she was at the pearly gates. St. Peter said to her, "You can't come in. You have to spell a word." She said, "What word?" He said, "Any word. Love." And she said, L-O-V-E. "Oh, great." Peter said, "Come on in." Then Peter asked her if she would take his place for a moment. He had to run out a little errand for God. He instructed if anyone came, just follow the very same procedure. Well, the next few moments, she sees her ex-husband walking out. She can't believe it. She says, "What are you doing here?" He says, "I just had a heart attack. I can't really believe it. Did I really make it to heaven?" "Not yet," she said. "You have a word to spell correctly." He said, "What word?" After a long pause, which she thought about, she said, "Czechoslovakia." And I'm going to add to the joke a little bit. And he said, "Czechoslovakia. Ha! St. Peter just walked back and he said, "Hey, that's right. Come on in, brother." Oh, gosh. Well, we talked about the spiritual leaders in the world that have made a difference for millions, maybe even billions of people. That same principle works also in what we might call the secular world, or the non-religious world, if you like. There's really no separation because spirit is in everyone and everything. So there is no real non-spiritual world, but people think of it that way. I'll just mention a few names. You probably know what they did. Alexander Graham Bell, what did he bring to us? Telephone. How about Thomas Edison, what did he bring? The light bulb. And how about the folks at the Bell Labs? They brought the first, what do you call it, little tiny transistors that enabled the creation of mainframe computers to the world. Now, these types of things, light to see with, communications with other folks, and problem solving, all can help to create a better world. Here's a little fact you may not be. Do you know about iPhone? Have you ever seen an iPhone before? No, you've never seen one before? Oh, come on. You must have seen an iPhone before, right? Or another phone, perhaps a different type of cell phone. Okay. Jean-Marie Hulot first developed the idea for an Apple phone. He was a software engineer in France who worked at Next and at Apple in France. And initially, he made a pitch to Steve Jobs and said, hey, we got to develop this this phone idea. And Steve Jobs said, no, I didn't like that idea. He was mostly involved in making an iPad type thing, and that's where the company was receiving most of its revenue. But Hulot was eventually able to convince him. Now, that effort to create that phone didn't develop all in France because the folks there didn't want to come to this country. Another team took up the challenge. The point here is, you know how explosive the growth in cell phones has been. I read that 80% of people across the globe use them. 80%. They've largely replaced, in many parts of the world, the use of personal computers. So, not all due to the iPhone, but all due to the intention to create a communications device that attracted a lot of support, attention from other people, and they took action, and they did it. Jonas Salk, what did he do? Polio vaccine, absolutely. I think a strange one I'm going to bring up. Elon Musk. I don't know about him. He owns Tesla, and I think it's called X, and SpaceX, and AIX, or something about artificial intelligence. He's got a whole company for that. But he did a TED Talk, which maybe want to include this. The billionaire said, quote, "My driving philosophy is to expand the scope and scale of consciousness that we may better understand the nature of the universe. I have a sort of proposal for a worldview or motivating philosophy, which is to understand what questions to ask about the answer. The answer to everything is the universe." Kind of deep. Yeah. The universe to us also refers to the body of God, the physical universe. But so there's something in there. The questions he had in mind to ask were, why are we here? Where did we come from? And what the heck is it all about? Yeah, those are his questions. Musk said he developed his motivating philosophy after reading Douglas Adams' The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe as a teen. Anybody read that book? Yeah, years ago. Yeah. Oh, and there are some fine works that have happened in the world because of the power of intention, attention, and action. The Nature Conservancy. You've heard of that? Nature Conservancy. Victor Ernest Shelford, in 1946, and his colleagues developed the Ecologists Union, which eventually took the name of the Nature Conservancy. Their mission, conserving open spaces and wildlife preserves. And they've done a lot of that worldwide. How about the Audubon Society? Yeah, Audubon. George Bird Grinnell started the Audubon Society in 1886, and on their website today they declare, "We protect birds and the places they need." Simple mission. This whole thing of the Audubon Society and Nature Conservancy really marked the beginning of our nation's conservation ethic. Now you've heard of some other, I'm sure you know about them. Doctors Without Borders started in response to a desire to provide humanitarian aid in countries affected by disasters and epidemic diseases. Or the Red Cross. You've all heard of the Red Cross. Red Crescent in some parts of the world. The Red Cross was organized by a group of doctors in 1863 inspired by Henry Dunant, who had witnessed a terrible war in the north of Italy with thousands of injured soldiers. But the primary purpose at first was to supply trained assistance for war-wounded soldiers, regardless of which side they were fighting on. But the Red Cross in the United States, I'm sure you've heard more about that. In the late 1860s, after the Civil War, Clara Barton went off to Europe, and she found out about the Red Cross, and she wanted to bring it back to the U.S. She then launched a years-long campaign to ratify the Geneva Convention, which is the basis for humane treatment of the other soldiers captured in war, among other things, and did so in 1882, a year after Barton founded the American Red Cross. Under her leadership, the Red Cross expanded the notion that the Red Cross in Europe had to include peacetime disasters, like there was a huge Johnstown flood in Pennsylvania, which killed more than 2,000 people. And in 1893, a hurricane in South Carolina's Sea Islands that left 30,000 people homeless and in trouble, mostly African American. Margaret Mead wrote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has." Attention, intention, attention, action. That is what it takes to draw us together to form a group of committed individuals to change the world. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, what's this got to do with me? After all, I'm not a Jonas Salk or a Gandhi or a Sarah Barton or an Elon Musk or a Mother Teresa or anything. I'm just me. That's all you have to be. You're everything you have to be. You can change the world. Yeah. We started out, I asked you if you believed it. Several of you said you do. In the global vision developed by the Centers for Spiritual Living, it is stated that we envision a world that works for everyone and for all creation. Think of the ecological movements. We accomplish this vision through living our lives in integrity and from the genuine love of self and others. We can also further the power that is in us by joining with others to accomplish great works. We can start our own works here at the chapel. We can consolidate with other organizations, as we do when we collect clothes for Helping Hands or when we support World Peace Day. We can share our resources financially to support those values that we share. There are many ways that we can coalesce the power of our hearts into the power of the group. Socrates has have made this statement: the real secret of change is to focus all of your energy not in fighting the old, but on building the new. Build the new. You can do it so many ways. Perhaps you're passionate about making people feel welcome and safe. In that case, volunteering as a greeter or usher allows you to channel your power in support of this mission. You could do that here or at the hospital or a number of places. Every time we engage in a simple act of kindness and service, we use our personal power for noble purposes. And these noble purposes can be as simple as sharing a smile with a grocery clerk or letting someone come in front of you in line or paying forward. Those types of things. Kindness and service creates a vibration that attracts attention that will hopefully lead to other actions. Another way we can create a world that works for all is simply by exercising our right as citizens to vote, by voting. Our country will be voting soon in national and local elections. There are a lot of local things on the ballot. You want to look at them. You want to study them. You want to decide what you want to support and what you don't want to support, and vote that way. Now, here in Woodland Chapel, generally, we don't CSL generally, we don't tell people who to vote for or what to vote for. But we support you with great vigor in your desire to get out there and vote. Because we can only improve the world if we stand in our truth and declare what we believe and work together to make it a reality. I had an interesting email from one of our congregants this week. I don't have permission to use the name. One of our congregants asked me if I knew of anyone who might want to help find vacant houses for the unhoused. That's a thought, I don't know. The question led me to look up some information on the internet. As of 2023, 580,000 Americans are estimated to be without housing. That's a lot of people. There were it's hard to believe this next part. There were 28 vacant homes for every one person without housing in the U.S. It's weird. Yeah. Could it be simple? Could it be simply matching folks to houses? Now, questions come to mind immediately. What would be required? Where would we start? What would it take? Does that make sense? How can we do it? If these questions spark your interest, talk with me after today's service. As we move to our conclusion, consider this from Ernest Holmes in his book, Your Invisible Power. You must realize that this creative power, which I am, is also the creative power which you are, for you and I are one in the one. Let's embrace our personal power and wield it with grace and energy in the service of greater good. Remember, anything can be accomplished with the power of the Spirit in whom we live, in whom we move, and in whom we have our being. As we act with love, integrity, and compassion, we uplift ourselves and others, leaving a lasting imprint on the fabric of reality. Remember, life is an opportunity to shine our light and to contribute to the tapestry of its beautiful unfolding. I'd like to close with some truth statements, and I'll ask you to please repeat them, each one after me. I am a divinely human being. I am powerful. I am a presence for good. I am compassionate. I am divine love expressing here and now. I am divine love. I am willing to help make this a world that works for all. I am willing to help make this a world that works for all. And the last one, together we empower greater good for all. And so it is. That's our message for today. Namaste.
All right, this is another song that I wrote. It's called Courage from the Heart. Traveled is less traveled for a reason. It's lined with mirrors. We must face ourselves. The journey's done on our own, with courage from the heart. It's easier others go, we follow, thinking they know better. But deep within, that little child's crying. Use courage from the heart. Only you know where it is. You alone can take the steps. Every day we have a choice to let ourselves be free and fall into who we're meant to be. Only you know where it is. You alone can take the steps. Every day we have a choice to let ourselves be free and fall into who we're meant to be. The road less traveled is less traveled for a reason, but it's never too late to change our way and just start walking. The life we crave is ours to make, with courage from the heart. Oh, with courage from the heart. With courage from the heart. Thank you.
Courage from the heart. Ah, yes. Well, now we move to the next most important thing in our congregational meeting, and that is to realize that each of us gives from our heart as we want to improve this world in order that Woodland Chapel may to continue to deliver its messages and enjoy the beautiful music of people like Ari and welcome young people like Phoebe into our congregation and Peter too. So take whatever gift you might have made up in your mind to give. Let's see if I can find mine here. That goes there. But this goes here. I know I have something. Oh, yes. So take that gift in your heart or in your mind and let us say our affirmation for prosperity, our offertory affirmation. Divine love moving in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is.
I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life. I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life. I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life. I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life.
Let's take a moment to open our hearts to the reality of life, to realize that every gift given here today is given through the individual who gave it as part of the heart of the universe, as it supports everyone in finding the purpose and the intention and the action that is right for them to bring to the world, to reveal the magnificent goodness, which is the truth about each one of us here. So let us give thanks and be joyful and say together, and so it is. Okay, let's stand and we'll say our prayer of protection. The words are in the program. The light of God is with us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let's form a circle and sing our peace song. The words also, I think, are in the program.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I like standing next to you when I sing. You make my tone better. You are the perfect below for my above. Really relaxing. Just sing next to you.